Coach, what type of development have you seen at Edwin Spillman, and is he playing either of the linebacker positions?
Yeah, the one thing that we do in our position room is everyone is responsible to know both positions, so we call them dual purpose linebacker. So he is someone who is being able to do both of them. And the one thing that we like about it, it really puts our guys in scenarios where no matter what, you can get the best guy on the football field when needed, but also we can put them in scenarios where they understand our defense. I tell recruits all the time how our defense is designed. If you can count to 3, you can play for me.
When you have a room that, aside from Carter and T-Lander, a lot of those guys really don't have much in-game experience, what is it that you're looking for from them this spring to build some depth?
Well, the biggest thing that we're looking for from them, Casey, is just the continued, as we would say, thriving when you're on the field. And the best way to do that is you have to get them on the field, put them in the fire, allow them to understand what happens when they're under pressure, and be able to coach them in those moments. And that's the biggest thing that we're doing now with a lot of guys on the team, because there's a lot of individuals who are coming back that are fairly new. So we're really putting them in, as we would call, putting them in the heat, under pressure, and allowing them to thrive under pressure, and being able to coach them up, because mistakes that are made, we got to coach them and make sure that we get them better.
Over here, just what's the approach for your room been this spring? Just with a few guys out, kind of shorthanded, I guess, for compared to what you'll be in the fall with Arion and a couple of the freshmen not out there.
We're not shorthanded. The approach in our room is attack, and the standard is going to be the standard. Everyone who hits the football field, you're going to be ready. You have to manage your role. You have to do your job, and you got to go execute. So we don't see it as being down. We see it as a really, really, really great opportunity for the next men to continue to keep developing in the program.
Coach, you got 3 freshmen, 2 of which aren't
3?
going.
Really?
2 of which aren't going through.
I'm freshman too.
Yeah. So what have you seen out of Brendan Ains on the field? And then what do you feel like the 2 Jadens have been able to get done, even though they're not able to go through, the line share practice?
Yeah, to think about us finishing practice 9, and Brendan Ains, he was here prior to us going to the college football playoff, and him coming back now, to see the steps that he's taken thus far. We're so proud of him, because he does a few things that you want all your players to do. He prepares. It's important to him, and he understands how to ask questions. And when he's on the field, he plays literally like his hair is on fire. And if you see him, you would think his hair is on fire, literally. But he does a great job of just learning, applying the things that we want him to do in the system, and it's been great having him here during these practices, because he's going to be in a scenario where he'll have a chance to be able to help our football team. Now with Jaden, those guys are coming along, as we say, playing the mental game. And what I have to do for them, basically put them through what we call Navy SEAL training, to where you're doing everything that's going to be mental. I'm going to have you mentally sweat every day and try to have you push the panic button every day from a mental standpoint, because if you can get the mental portion of the game correctly, we know athletically and physically they have already shown us some of the skills during the recruiting process to be able to apply them. And when we take this next step during the summer, that's when they'll start getting their what we call intensity through repetition.
Probably a little bit of a forgotten man by some is Jordan Burns. What do you see out of Jordan? What do you like about his game? Where's he at right now?
Jordan possesses some things that very few people on our team has. When you see some flashes, you would think you're looking at like an Al Wilson, who plays extremely fast, extremely aggressive, and extremely physical. We have to understand this time a year ago, Jordan was not here. During training camp, Jordan was not with us. So this is really his first time of being in a scenario where he is in the heat and in the fire, and seeing him excel every day. We're definitely happy with his progress thus far. And we know when he's on the football field, he does everything that he needs to be able to do. He will be someone everybody will know about.
Hey, Coach, back here.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Building off of your comment about the Navy SEAL mental training aspect, wanting to make them mentally sweat, has that maybe been a shock to the system for them to be trained in such a way, or is that something that you did even last year?
No, it's not a shock to the system for them. Some of them are probably happy that it's not them at this point in time because they've endured it last year. But some of the newer guys, that's what we have to be able to put them through, especially when you can't get all of the reps that you would typically do when you're on the football field. So us being able to make some of the newer guys or our newcomers be able to mentally sweat, or the injured guys be able to mentally sweat is great. I think the thing that we see from a leadership standpoint in the room is the guys who have endured it. Those are the first guys to jump in and try to help, aid, and assist. That's what's awesome. And when you're building a championship caliber team, that's what you want. You need your players to be able to lead, and that's what we're getting from those guys now.
Coach, speaking of championship caliber, you've now been a part of a couple programs that made the postseason. Even though you lost a ton from last year, once you have that kind of success, once kids are part of the best defense in the nation, even though you lose a bunch of guys, do you see that carry over to guys who maybe didn't even play, but they carry themselves like they're part of a championship, a playoff caliber program?
Yeah, because on one end, it's our responsibility as coaches, mentors, and leaders to make sure that the message is set to everyone on the football team. If you get the message to each of your individual positions, they know what the standards are, what the standards of excellence is, and what you have to be able to do on a day-to-day basis. So seeing them know what they have to be able to do is our responsibility to keep pushing them. And what they do, they get to go endure the process. And during this process of development, of attaining all of your goals and being able to mentally sweat and really thrive under pressure, that's where you try to work toward the final outcome. The one thing that we've tried to have our players really stay focused on is just stay focused on where we are right now, be 1-0 on this given down.
Coach, where are you kind of pushing area on this offseason, coming off of year being a starter? I imagine some of the things you're having the freshman do, you may not be doing with him because he's been around. So what are you pushing him to do, even this spring when he's not out there, but even going into next season when he does get back?
We're pushing him to make sure that he keeps the 10,000-foot view so he can see everything that's going on around him, not just knowing his job, but knowing all the guys around him, not just seeing a respective formation, but knowing what are the 3 to 4 things that could happen on these given plays. If we could have that thought process continue to expand very fast, the game slows down, you make more plays, everyone knows who you are, and you become the best linebacker in the country, and that's what we're pushing him to be able to become, along with all of the other guys in the room as well.
When you did your end-of-season self-scout and got ready for spring, what were the priorities for the entire position? Where does your position need to – where do you want him to take a step from last year to this year on the field in terms of whether it's X's and O's or execution or whatever?
Probably the two biggest things that really stand out for us is being able to, it's what we call shock and snatch, where you have to create separation and disengage from blocks. That's something for everyone on defense that we really made an extreme point of emphasis. The next thing is going to be us being able to play in space. The body position, the balance, the footwork that you have to be able to have. And we're so happy that Coach Schmidt and his staff in the weight room have really done a good job of being able to attack that during the off season for the guys thus far. So that's kind of two of the things that we really are focusing on, along with the standard things, making sure you can improve in your tackling, improve in your communication, being able to attack and take the football away.
How pivotal has Jeremiah been in bringing those younger guys along in the room?
My man, Power T, he is awesome because he's someone that when he comes to the field, you know he's there because he's going to speak, he's going to communicate, and he's also going to act. So when he does his reps, he wants to set the gold standard for the rep. That's exactly what he's been doing all the spring. We wouldn't exchange him from anyone because he is someone that you want to have on your football team. He is like glue. And in a sense, he is literally another coach because he's someone on the football field that has been there and done that. And his learning was accelerated once we got to Game 6 last year, with him having to come in and be a full-time starter. So seeing him continue to take steps, that is so gratifying to see as a coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you all. Go Vols.